They will tell you power corrupts, but they do not understand that power only unmasks. It strips away the delicate skin of pretense and reveals the sinew of hunger beneath. Most men are not prepared to see that in themselves, so they avert their eyes from it in others. But if you would rule, you must look straight into that furnace. You must learn its heat, its shape, its appetite, and know it as the only constant in the theater of human affairs. Do not waste time longing for loyalty as if it were born from virtue. Loyalty is a currency, and like all currencies, it fluctuates. It rises when you inspire fear, and it collapses when you appear weak. Love is a fragile bond in politics. It binds only until it is tested, and then it splinters into dust. Fear, however, sharpens memory. It keeps men obedient, not because they admire you, but because they cannot imagine the consequences of crossing you. If you would have subjects, allies, or lieutenants tethered to your will, then let them fear what you are capable of when defied. There is no kingdom without deception. To rule is to perform, to embody the roles the people demand of their masters while concealing the machinery behind the curtain. The masses do not wish for truth. They crave the illusion of order, the comfort of certainty. And so, you must wear the mask they can worship even as you wield the dagger they must never see. Appear merciful, while knowing when to strike without hesitation. Seem just, even as you tilt the scales to secure your position. A ruler who clings to honesty as an absolute will not survive the season. Ambition is a double-edged sword. It lifts a man from obscurity, but it also paints a target on his back. To survive its curse, you must become harder than those who would replace you. Those closest to you will be the first to betray you, not because you failed them, but because you succeeded too well. Their envy will ferment into treachery the moment they believe they no longer need you. Anticipate it. Reward loyalty sparingly, and punish betrayal with a swiftness that freezes the air around your court. Mercy invites repetition. Fear leaves an enduring memory. Human nature has not changed, though the weapons and institutions have. Men still desire comfort more than freedom, spectacle more than truth. They follow strength instinctively, like animals scenting the alpha in the pack. If you would command them, you must project strength even in moments of doubt. Never let them see you bleed. Never let them glimpse the chaos you wrestle with at night. The appearance of control is as valuable as control itself. Every ally is a potential rival. Every peace is temporary. Every promise is a calculation, not a covenant. The modern ruler who forgets this will find himself overthrown not by an army but by whispers, not by a sword but by a vote. The methods change, but the dynamics endure. Surveillance replaces spies, algorithms replace informants, but the impulse to dominate and the terror of losing power are as old as the first tribes. The state is not a family, it is a battlefield. Treat it as such. Sentiment has no place here. Sentiment weakens the hand that must strike to preserve order. To lead is to accept the burden of necessary cruelty. You will be hated for it, but better to be hated and alive than beloved and replaced. The lion does not apologize to the gazelle. The storm does not ask the forest for permission to break its trees. Power does not explain itself. It acts, and the world adjusts. There is no shame in manipulation if it preserves the state. The people are fickle. They rise in adoration one day and in rebellion the next. It is your task to hold them steady, even if it means leading them with lies they can digest. The lie they need is the truth you must become. To hesitate is to invite death. Fortune favors those who move with precision and speed, who strike while their enemies are still arranging their armor. Do not imagine Fortune as a gentle goddess. She is a wild woman, attracted to those bold enough to seize her by force. You will be tempted, in quiet hours, to wonder if the price is too high, if the isolation, the vigilance, the blood on your hands makes the throne worth occupying. But remember this: there is no going back. Once you have tasted command, you can never return to being ruled. The mind that has seen behind the veil cannot be unmade. This is the cost of sovereignty. To hold the levers of power is to stand alone, surrounded by allies who would replace you and enemies who would destroy you. It is to master the art of necessary betrayal, to harden yourself against the weaknesses that devour lesser men. And yet, this is not a curse. It is the highest calling. In the hands of a coward, power is a disaster. In the hands of the calculating, it is the only force that can shape a chaotic world into order. You will not be loved, you will not be understood, but if you are cunning, ruthless, and patient, you will endure. And in the calculus of history, survival is the only victory that matters. Do not mistake the crowd's applause for affection. Their cheers are not for you, but for the image you have crafted and projected onto the stage. That image is the armor that shields you. It is the vessel through which you command their loyalty, their labor, their obedience. But understand this, the crowd adores today what it crucifies tomorrow. They are as the sea calm 1 hour, raging the next. A wise ruler does not trust calm seas. He fortifies his ship, he sharpens his blade, and he watches the horizon for the first hint of storm. Men dream of freedom, but they cannot bear its weight. Freedom terrifies them because it demands responsibility, and responsibility is a burden most are eager to relinquish. Offer them security, and they will sell you their liberty in a heartbeat. But security is a fiction, the ruler knows this. There is only control and its absence. You must manufacture the sense of safety, even as you consolidate your hold over their lives. They must believe you their savior, even if you are their jailer. Consider betrayal. It is inevitable. The seeds of treachery lie dormant in every man who serves you. Circumstance is the rain that awakens them. Do not be surprised when those you raised from nothing plot to bring you down. It is not gratitude that guides men's hearts, but envy. They resent your strength because it reflects their weakness. They despise your ascendancy because it reminds them of their failure. So, when betrayal comes, do not flinch. Strike first, and strike so completely that no one else dares dream of rebellion. The art of ruling is not to eliminate fear, but to wield it with precision. Crude fear is blunt and breeds hatred. Refined fear is invisible. It whispers in the ear and freezes the hand before it can draw a dagger. When they fear you properly, they will smile in your presence and curse you only in their dreams. This is the fear worth cultivating. You must also master the theater of mercy. From time to time, spare a defeated foe. Let it be known that your hand can be stayed. This mercy is not for your enemy, it is for the audience. They will speak of your justice, your humanity. They will convince themselves that you are not a monster. But remember, mercy is a tactic, not a principle. Show it only when it strengthens your position. When it weakens you, abandon it without regret. A ruler must accept the loneliness of command. No one will understand the weight you carry, nor should they. Power isolates because it demands secrets. To share your doubts is to embolden rivals. To confess your fears is to invite the dagger. Therefore, confide in no one fully. Keep counsel with yourself, for your mind must be a fortress no spy can infiltrate. Fortune is a wild and capricious force. She smiles today and abandons you tomorrow, but she favors the bold. If you would seize her, you must act with audacity. Hesitation is her enemy. She rewards those who strike first, who take risks others shrink from. But understand, fortune alone does not sustain power. It brings a man to the throne. Prudence keeps him there. Appearances are everything. Reality matters less than perception. To the masses, perception is reality. They cannot touch the machinery of your rule. They can only see the mask you wear. So, craft that mask carefully. Let them see the benevolent guardian when they crave peace, the avenging sword when they demand justice, the unshakable rock when chaos threatens to engulf them. The mask is not deception, it is governance. Know also that to rule is to govern appetites. Men are driven by hunger for wealth, for status, for meaning. Harness these desires, and you control them. Frustrate them too long, and they turn destructive. Feed them just enough to keep them docile, but never enough that they grow fat and bold. A hungry man can be led. A satiated man imagines himself free. Your enemies will cloak themselves in ideals. They will speak of liberty, justice, virtue. Do not underestimate this. Ideals are powerful banners. Men will march to their deaths beneath them. If you would counter them, you must create your own banners. Offer visions that captivate the heart and cloud the mind. Let them fight for you as if for a holy cause, even if the cause is nothing but your survival. The ruler who outlasts his rivals is not the strongest nor the most beloved, but the one who best understands timing. Strike too soon, and you waste your strength. Strike too late, and the moment is lost. The great skill is to act at the exact instant when hesitation would be fatal and haste would be ruinous. This sense of timing is rare. Cultivate it relentlessly. Governments rise and fall not on laws, but on perception of strength. Constitutions, parliaments, treaties, these are but paper shields. When men believe you are weak, the paper burns. When they believe you are strong, the paper is steel. Therefore, never let weakness show. Even when cornered, project the certainty of a man with 1,000 weapons at his disposal. Often, this illusion is enough to turn the tide. There is no clean power. Every throne is built on blood, the blood of rivals, of the innocent, of those sacrificed for stability. Do not flinch from this truth. To rule is to decide who lives and who dies. It is to impose order on a chaotic world that resists all order. If you cannot bear this burden, do not take it up, but if you do, carry it without apology. Remember, history does not forgive hesitation. The ruler who waits for certainty is overthrown by the one who acts in doubt. You will never have all the answers. Act anyway. It is better to be wrong and feared than right and irrelevant. To rule is not to serve the people, it is to shape them, to mold their fears and hopes, to channel their desires, to make them instruments of your design. If you fail to shape them, they will shape you. And no ruler survives long as the servant of the mob. In this arena, there are no permanent victories, only temporary reprieves. The struggle is endless, but struggle is life, and to those who master it, there is no higher art than command. You will learn that the crowd does not crave justice. They crave the sensation of justice. They want to feel that the guilty are punished, that the virtuous are rewarded, that the world is as their simple hearts imagine it should be. But the world does not care for their imaginings, and neither can you. Your task is not to deliver justice, but to deliver the appearance of it, to weave the spectacle that keeps the masses from staring too long into the void of disorder. Give them enemies to hate, victories to celebrate, rituals to repeat. When they believe in the play, they will not question the script. Do not rely on gratitude. A favor given today is forgotten tomorrow. Men will thank you with their tongues while plotting your downfall in their hearts. This is not because they are evil, but because they are human. Gratitude binds only those too weak to seize power for themselves. The strong will take what they can and resent you for what they cannot. For this reason, it is wiser to make men dependent on you than to expect them to honor you. Power is not a possession, it is a current. The moment you stop grasping it, it slips away. You must renew it daily through action, through vigilance, through the constant management of fear and hope in those around you. Rest is for those who are ruled. A ruler rests only in the grave. And yet, appearances must be maintained. You cannot seem frantic, even when the world shakes beneath your feet. You must cultivate calm, the air of inevitability. Let your enemies believe you are always 3 moves ahead, even if you are inventing your next move with each passing hour. In politics, belief is reality. If they believe you unshakable, they will hesitate. That hesitation is your opportunity. Never forget, the law is not a cage for rulers, but a weapon. When wielded skillfully, It binds your enemies while leaving you free. Bend it, shape it, twist it, until it serves your purpose. The people will call it justice if you wrap it in the proper language. They do not see the strings. They see only the puppet dance. Your counselors will speak of trust, of building alliances, of sharing power to ensure stability. But know this, every alliance carries the seed of betrayal. Allies are convenient while you share enemies. The moment the threat passes, they will turn their eyes on you. Therefore, never grant them the means to destroy you. Feed their ambitions only enough to keep them occupied, and keep their hands too full to reach for your crown. Control is not achieved through force alone. Brutality is a tool, but a crude one. Subtlety is the higher art. Shape the thoughts of your subjects until they believe your rule natural, inevitable. Let them repeat your slogans until they forget they were ever yours. A man who thinks your will is his own will defend it more fiercely than any soldier. Beware the idealist. He is more dangerous than the greedy man, for he believes his cause holy. The greedy man can be bought, distracted, appeased. The idealist cannot. He will burn cities, topple empires, slaughter thousands in pursuit of his vision, and he will call it virtue. If you cannot turn him, destroy him swiftly, before his fire spreads. You will be tempted to indulge in sentiment, to spare an old friend, to forgive a relative, to show the humanity they say you lack. Resist it. Sentiment is the luxury of those who serve. For the one who rules, it is a weakness that invites the vultures. There is no room for both power and purity in the same heart. You must choose. And yet, you are not a monster. Monsters are clumsy, indiscriminate. You must be a surgeon, cutting only as much as necessary, always with a steady hand. Too much cruelty breeds rebellion. Too little invites insolence. The balance is delicate, and it is the measure of your craft. As the years pass, you will come to understand the true weight of the crown. It is not gold, but iron. It presses on the mind, on the soul, on the very breath you take. You will see betrayal in every smile, treachery in every whisper, poison in every cup. You will learn to sleep lightly, if at all. This is the price of command. But do not despair. Power is a burden, yes, but it is also a shield. It keeps you above the petty humiliations of ordinary men. It grants you the ability to shape the world according to your design. To those strong enough to bear its weight, it is the only life worth living. Understand this final truth. You do not merely hold power. You are power. It flows through you, reshaping you, consuming you, defining you. To the world, you are no longer a man or a woman. You are the throne, the law, the state itself, and so long as you endure, the state endures. This is your destiny. Embrace it fully. Do not ask for forgiveness. Do not seek absolution. Those are comforts for the weak. You have chosen the higher path, not to serve, but to rule. And in the end, history does not weep for the rulers who are kind. It remembers only those who prevail. Power is not given, it is taken, and once taken it must be defended as though every hour were your last, for in truth, every hour is your last, unless you make it otherwise. The moment you believe you are secure, the earth shifts beneath you. Rivals emerge, as inevitable as weeds in an untended garden. They grow silently at first, hidden under the soil of flattery and silence. And then, when you have let down your guard, they bloom in open defiance. Crush them early, when their roots are still tender. To wait is to dig your own grave. There are two kinds of rulers, those who act and those who are acted upon. The first shape their circumstances with ruthless intent. The second are swept along like driftwood, clutching at ideals as they are carried toward destruction. Do not be driftwood. When the tide changes, change with it. When the winds shift, adjust your sails. But never relinquish the helm. Remember, the people do not want to see how power works. They are like diners at a feast. They wish only to enjoy the meal, not to witness the slaughter in the kitchen. Let them remain ignorant. Hide the blood, the sweat, the compromises that keep the machinery of state turning. Give them parades and speeches, symbols and ceremonies. Feed their longing for meaning with myths you construct, and they will defend those myths more fiercely than they would ever defend you. This is the essence of rule. To create a story they will kill and die for, not because it is true, but because it gives shape to their fear and hunger. You are the author of that story. If you fail to write it, another will, and they will write you out. Fear and hope are twin engines. Use both. Too much fear breeds hatred. Too much hope breeds complacency. Alternate between them as a farmer alternates sun and water. Keep them uncertain, and they will cling to you for guidance. Certainty is dangerous. It breeds independence. Independence is a luxury you cannot afford them. You may believe, in the arrogance of early triumphs, that you can command love, that if you rule well, they will adore you, but adoration is fickle. The same voices that sing your praises will call for your head when the winds shift. Do not stake your power on their affection. Stake it on their inability to imagine life without you. If you must choose between being loved and being feared, choose fear, but do not be hated. Hatred festers and multiplies. It gives rise to conspiracies. Fear, when carefully managed, suppresses hatred. They may curse you in private, but so long as they tremble in public, they remain yours. The art of power lies in discernment. Not all threats require destruction. Some demand co-option, others neglect. A rival too weak to challenge you outright may serve as a useful foil, a lightning rod for discontent. Better the people curse him than turn their anger on you. Let him play the villain while you appear the hero. And when he has outlived his usefulness, discard him swiftly. You will learn to lie without hesitation, to promise what you have no intention of delivering, to betray without remorse. These are not vices in politics, they are instruments. The naive believe honesty is a virtue in statecraft. It is not. It is a liability, a blade turned inward. Truth is too brittle to survive in the arena of power. Lies are supple. Lies bend, adapt, endure. And yet, your lies must be artful. Crude deception fails. The best lies are those that embed themselves in the hearts of your subjects until they no longer recognize them as lies. A ruler's greatest triumph is to persuade the people that his will is their will, his vision, their salvation. When they reach this point, you no longer need chains to bind them. They will bind themselves. Do not mistake cunning for cowardice. The fox survives where the lion dies. There are times for open force, and there are times for stealth. Wisdom lies in knowing the difference. A ruler who charges headlong into every challenge will exhaust his strength and embolden his foes. Strike only when victory is assured, and withdraw when the cost outweighs the gain. There will be nights when doubt eats at you, when the weight of decisions, the lives taken, the betrayals committed, the endless vigilance feels unbearable. You will look in the mirror and wonder what remains of the person you once were. Understand, the person you were is gone. That was the price of power. In his place stands the sovereign, the strategist, the necessary architect of order. Do not mourn what you have lost. What you have gained is far greater. In the end, you must choose what matters more, purity or survival. The world does not allow both. History is littered with the corpses of rulers who clung to their innocence. The survivors are those who understood that power is neither good nor evil. It is an instrument, and its morality is determined by the hand that wields it. You must wield it without hesitation, without apology. Let others argue over ethics and ideals. Your task is to preserve the state, to secure your position, to endure. If you endure, you will be called wise. If you fall, you will be called a tyrant. Success writes its own morality. And so, each day you rise, remember this. The throne is not a seat but a blade. It cuts both ways. Hold it tightly, or it will cut you first. To rule is to live in the shadow of betrayal. You will wake each morning with the knowledge that every handshake carries a hidden blade, that every smile may mask a conspiracy. This is not paranoia, it is survival. A ruler who trusts too easily will not long be a ruler. Trust is a luxury for those with nothing to lose. You have everything to lose, and so you must cultivate suspicion as a second nature. Let it sharpen your senses, harden your resolve, make you vigilant. Do not mistake vigilance for fear. Fear paralyzes. Vigilance empowers. Watch your court as a hunter watches a clearing, reading every twitch of movement, every shift in the wind. The coup that strikes without warning is the one you fail to anticipate. There are always signs. A word spoken too softly, an alliance formed too suddenly, a rival growing too bold in his silence. See these signs for what they are, and act. Always act before they do. Your enemies will not always come at you with swords. In the modern age, their weapons are subtler. Rumors, scandals, the slow corrosion of your image in the minds of the people. Understand that reputation is power. Guard it more jealously than any fortress. When they strike at your name, strike back harder. Do not hesitate to destroy a man's character if he dares to tarnish yours. Better he be ruined in whispers than you in the open square. But even as you defend your name, remember, the people do not care for truth. They care for spectacle, for narrative. If you can give them a story to believe in, they will swallow your lies whole. If you fail to provide a story, they will invent one, and it will not favor you. So write their story for them. Shape their heroes and villains, their triumphs and disasters, their fears and their hopes. In this theater, you are both playwright and director. There is a dangerous illusion that power can be made permanent. It cannot. Every reign is temporary. The wise ruler understands this and plans accordingly. Secure your legacy, not through monuments or speeches, but through systems that endure beyond your hand. The state must outlive you, even if you do not live to see it. And yet, do not deceive yourself. Successors are rarely loyal. The heir you raise in your image will betray you when the moment comes. He must, for he cannot rule as long as you live. This is the final cruelty of power, that even your chosen will one day desire your absence. Prepare for this. Either destroy him before he destroys you, or make yourself indispensable to his survival. The longer you rule, the heavier the burden becomes. In the beginning, power is exhilarating. It fills you with purpose, with the rush of conquest, with the thrill of shaping events. But over time, exhilaration gives way to exhaustion. You will find that every decision alienates some and emboldens others, that every gain demands a sacrifice, that every alliance carries a hidden cost. This is the iron law of rule. Nothing is free. And so you will grow weary. Weary of conspiracies, weary of endless vigilance, weary of the smiles that hide venom and the hands that conceal daggers. You will long for rest, for a single moment unshadowed by suspicion. But rest is death for a ruler. The instant you relax, the instant you let down the mask, the wolves will circle. There is no escape. To rule is to be hunted as you hunt. In your solitude, you will reflect on the man or woman you once were, the idealist, the dreamer, the soul who believed in justice for its own sake. That person no longer exists. Power has devoured them, as it devours all who wield it. This is the price. Do not flinch from it. Do not seek redemption in the eyes of the world. The world does not forgive those who hold power too long. It worships them while they rise and curses them when they fall. But if you are wise, if you are ruthless, if you are patient, you may cheat the world of its revenge. You may endure long enough to write your own ending. History belongs to the victors. And the victor decides what was just, what was necessary, what was good. This is the final truth of power. It is not enough to seize it. You must become it. The lie they need is the truth you must embody. You must be the savior and the tyrant, the guardian and the executioner, the mask and the face behind it. Only then will you hold the throne not as a man or woman, but as an idea, and ideas do not bleed. And so it ends, not with triumph, not with defeat, but with the quiet realization that the throne was never a destination. It was a crucible. It melted you down, burned away the softness, the illusions, the fragile sentiment that once passed for your soul. What remains is not the person you were, but the shape the fire has forged, sharp, cold, unyielding. You have learned the secret they never speak aloud. No ruler truly leaves power. Even in abdication, even in exile, even in death, the shadow of command clings to you. It stains your thoughts, your words, your very breath. You can no longer see the world as they see it. You can no longer be one of them. Once you have held the machinery of the state in your hands, you are set apart forever, feared, hated, envied, but never again understood. You will leave behind monuments, policies, victories, betrayals. They will argue over your legacy, twist it to suit their agendas, paint you as tyrant or savior according to their needs. But the truth is simpler, colder. You did what was necessary. You bent men to your will. You preserved the state. You outlasted those who would have destroyed you. That is enough. That is all there ever is. In the end, there are no clean hands. Not in this game, the naive cry for virtue, but virtue is a dagger to the heart of those who wield power. You chose survival over innocence, cunning over purity, action over hesitation, and for that, you endured where others were broken. This is the ruler's final solitude, to understand that history belongs to no one. It consumes friend and foe alike. It grinds down kings and beggars, tyrants and martyrs, until all that is left is dust and stories. If you are fortunate, it will tell your story the way you wrote it. If not, it will tell it as your enemies wish. But even that is of little consequence now, for you have seen what few ever see. You have touched the raw architecture of power, felt its weight, its terror, its ecstasy. You have become its vessel and its executioner. This is not redemption. It is not damnation. It is simply what it means to rule. And so you stand at the edge of the abyss, the crowd still roaring, the banners still waving, the mask still flawless upon your face, and you understand the truth that has carried you this far. The lie they need is the truth you have become. It is all that matters. It is all that will ever matter.